Welcome to the studio, or welcome back to the studio. I'm kind of hiding from the camera because I was sick for a while and I have felt very gross. And so I'm hiding. Right now I'm hiding lying down as I do this little voiceover. But anyways, I thought I would attempt to do the second part of my little vampire story. It's not really a story as so much a creating a space revolving around a character, I feel like, is what it's more like. I almost didn't actually complete this piece because I was not liking it, but I kept saying like, "Oh, Jess, you do this all the time. You need to push through." So I pushed through. But all of that aside, back to the vampire. So I think in the last episode I had mentioned how he travels around. Did I mention that? If I didn't, he travels every once in a while from space to space and, nurtures nature and everything. But he has a couple places that he considers more of his home base. And what we have to figure out is if it's a home base in which he's decided to go about the human way and purchase the land that this space is on, or if he went about the, I'm not part of this society situation and is basically squatting in abandoned castles and ruins and whatever else he's coming across. Or maybe he's doing like a combination of both. And he'd have to weigh the pros and cons, right? So if he had a ruined cathedral castle like place somewhere that he purchased, he wouldn't have to worry so much about random people going up there to do exploring because, people are curious. They want to go check out these abandoned places, right? Which means he wouldn't be as comfortable, and whenever he was sleeping, he would have to probably hide a bit more, though he would probably want to hide anyway, but he would have to be more aware of the fact that there's a higher probability of somebody wandering into his space. Whereas if he purchased the land, he can do what, other people do and put a bunch of no trespassing signs and, I don't know, try to make it not so inviting to all the local people who live around there. He could even produce some sort of, what would you call that? What? Reputation. He could produce some sort of reputation in the town. Like, there's some creepy ass dude who lives up there. Don't go there. I think either way, regardless of if he purchased this land or not, he probably wouldn't have a lot of belongings. Though part of me thinks that if you live for a long time, you might collect a lot of stuff if you had a space to keep it. Though you might not have a whole lot of sentimental value placed upon most of that stuff. Maybe like a couple things here and there if it's related to your backstory somehow. Part of me wants to say, like, this particular piece of property he did purchase, and he doesn't have to worry so much about people coming in. We're undecided on that. What do you think? If you were a vampire, would you go and purchase a property and not worry so much about people wandering, or would you just be outside of society floating around? Anyway, either way, this particular guy does not have very many possessions, but what he does have is a nice place to sit because, there's so much time. I would imagine you move a little bit more slowly because you don't have to worry about anything. So, sitting for hours in a chair just with yourself and in your mind and staring out windows or whatever the heck might be something that this vampire does. So in this case, we decided to just have a singular chair semi-comfortable. Not necessarily, or not at all, from the time period of the ruins or cathedral castle thing that he's living in. But something that he's come across that he thought, hey, this is comfortable enough. It's got some cush. But it's still kind of, I don't know, it's not elaborate in any capacity. I was kind of afraid to draw. I haven't done furniture or anything of that sort since I was in like high school. I think there was like an assignment where I had to draw my bedroom or something. You know, I have to remind myself that one of the reasons why I started doing art on this channel is to make myself not be so strict in how I'm doing everything and, you know, play around a lot more. And it feels good, actually, allowing myself to do that. Can you guys hear my stomach gurgling? I just had breakfast. Yeah, see, I talk and then my stomach goes... Anyways. So, if people, like, wandered upon this guy's land and into his home, they would find, like, just a singular random chair there. They'd probably be like, oh, this has been here forever. You know, it's a little worn, whatever, cool, there's a chair in here. I kind of thought about putting a table, like a little side table, next to the chair, but I didn't plan that out or anything. So... I don't know. I could kind of make the space in there, but it'd be a tight squeeze. It'd have to be a really small table. I did discover one of these other things about pushing yourself is one of the things I have discovered about myself is when I work standing up, it's really good for like loosely, like making a loose base, but I have noticed that if I really want to like lock into more small spaces and details on the picture, I either have to go to floor mode or I have to lower the canvas down to where I'm sitting on the floor. So it's like I'm either working with the canvas on the floor or I'm sitting on the floor. Both ways I'm sitting on the floor, but you know what I mean. I have to go to Goblin floor mode if I feel like I have to lock in and I'm not getting what I need out of what I'm making if I'm just standing there. You know, honestly, I'm not fully satisfied with the end result of this picture. However, I am proud of myself for pushing through and actually, like, going to the end. If I would have started from scratch again, which, you know, is tempting, because you saw me wipe it away at one point. It is kind of tempting to just wipe it away and do something absolutely different, which I almost did. I was staring at it before I went down to floor mode, and I was like, this is so awful. No, don't stop. You don't have time for this right now. If you want to make something different, then just pull out a new canvas and make something different. I was kind of hiding from being on camera. Oops. Thanks for watching. Oh, I almost went, I love you. Bye.